the close of play of the first day. England bowl out for 416, put into bat by West Indies this morning. It surprised a few, but it possibly just indicates the lack of confidence that West Indies have had. They didn't field very well. They dropped catches. They also took some good catches, mind you, but the ground fielding wasn't great. Crawley was out in the first over, so England were 0 for 1. But then Duckett in particular put some pretty wayward seam bowling to the sword. Scored 43 by the end of the fourth over. That's more runs ever scored in the first 4 overs of the first innings of a test match. It went all over Trent Bridge, I must say. He made 71, Root 14, Brook 36. You'll notice here there are lots and lots of starts, all the way down. Good starts as well. Only Pope went on to reach 100. He made 121 and he was dropped twice. Stokes 69, Smith 36, Wokes a nice 37, Atkinson 2. Shoaib was the last man out for 5 with Mark Wood stranded on 13 not out. So 416. England losing 6 wickets after tea for 157 in the 35 overs that were bowled. In that first session, by the way, having been 0 for 1, there were 134 for 2 at lunch. So it just suggests and indicates how fast they were scoring. Bowling-wise, Azari Joseph went for 6 and over. He did take 3 wickets, 3 for 98. Jayden Seales is very expensive to start with. Pulled it back a bit. 2 for 90 from 15 overs, and it was the 2 spinners. Sinclair called in this morning because Moti reported ill, only playing his second test match. 2 for 73. He gave us one of his famous somersaults celebrations when he took the first wicket to fall. Harry Brook and Cavum Hodge, part-time left arm spinner. He had 2 catches out in the deep. 2 for 44 from 10 overs. So I've got Alistair Cook and Michael Vaughan with me for this little review of the day. Let's start with you, Michael, shall we? How did you see that one?
Well, I'm thinking of Craig Brathwaite. He wins the toss, he bowls England out on day one, so he'll be delighted. And then he looks at the scoreboard and he sees 416. So
yes.
he's probably not as pleased as he could have been. Look, I think we've seen today from both teams at times there's been some brilliant stuff. We've also seen some garbage from both teams at times. It's been a bizarre day because I mean, that start, to get a wicket in the first over, Zach Crawley gets one that bounces, just seems a little bit a good catch. And then the next few overs, Ben Duckett just seemed to just hit a boundary every single ball. And then all that momentum from the first over and that justification of bowling first was gone.
Yeah.
And I guess the difficulty for this West Indies attack is they are a bit wayward. So what do they need to back up this little bit of waywardness is outstanding catching. And if they caught the chances today, Pope was dropped twice. Harry Brook was dropped quite simply at Gully point from Athanase. Jason Holder dropped Ollie Pope. That's a real easy grab for someone like Jason Holder. I just think if they'd have caught their chances, they'd have probably bowled England out for around 300. And I think that would have been a really good day for the West Indies. Now they come out to bat tomorrow, it'll be a good pitch, it'll be fine, the sun's going to shine. But you just look at 416 with the West Indies inexperience in their batting department. I think that's a big score for them to chase.
Yeah. 0 for 1 after 3 balls, 19 for 1 at the end of the second over.
was it 50 or for 1 at the end of the 5th over as well?
It was that poor old Seales. His first over was just a nightmare, wasn't it? We started with a Harmison.
Started with a wide
that barely hit the moan part.
Poor old Steve. You always say a Harmison.
Well, but everyone
There's
knows
been many bowlers bowl wide, you know.
Yeah, but not like that. Everyone knows what you mean. If you're listening, Steve, he'll be chuckling. He'll know what I mean. But he started with one of those, and then bang, 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 the ball just went round the park.
Well, I think he hit 4 fours in a row, and it's just classic bowling. Next one, obviously after the wide, after bowling, I was on air and I thought, he was West Indies' best bowler at Lords, so he'll come into this game with a bit of form. He bowls a wide, he then probably thinks, oh God, this is not coming out quite right. Drags one down. Ben Duckett is not going to miss a cut shot, whether it's like in his first or second ball or the 100th ball. That's just where he scores. He went full, didn't he? He went full, bit floaty, crunching drive, really good shot to play. Then he dragged down, then he came around the wicket, searched for a full one, and he's going to complete the repertoire in 4 balls. He did show good character, because that must be a horrible feeling. You'll know far more than I do when you've gone for 28 in your first 2 overs. When he came back, it didn't actually look like it had affected him that much. He still bowled.
He bowled
okay.
Yeah, he bowled better.
I mean,
but he also good balls too. That's the frustrating thing.
I actually think it's a really interesting wicket, because even just late on there just now that Jayden Seales bowls a ball to Chris Wokes, he snicks it. He just bounced off a length, and there was a little bit of seam movement there. So the old adage, you don't really judge a pitch until both teams have batted and bowled on it. I think England's attack will get, I won't say they'll get plenty, but I think there'll be enough there for them tomorrow if they get it in the right zone. Look, the way that England caught at Lords was exceptional. Can they back up their catching here at Trent Bridge? And if they do, I would expect England to bowl the West Indies out. I wouldn't say cheaply, I wouldn't say it'd be 121 like Lords, but I think England will have enough tomorrow to be potentially batting just after tea.
Is the bounce interesting because it's both Jamie Smith and Ben Stokes off the spinner, cloth balls which you would expect them to hit for six. They weren't great balls, were they? The back of a length, they were there for hitting, and both of them clothed them.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there is something, whether it is just gripping or bouncing more or skidding. I don't know, but I think only by speaking to the England lads who've actually batted on there, they'll tell you actually. From here we're 150 yards away. We can't tell those little differences you feel when you're batting when you're in there. And those two examples of people who can hit big bombs, not clothing them, is maybe that bounce is pitching. Yeah. Pitch is bouncing a little bit more than we think.
Yeah, I mean, last week it was. I'm going to ask you actually. You said that it was Bazball with brains. Do you think Bazball was back today?
No.
You think?
I don't think it was.
No.
Because an indicator for me would be Stokes, who just played. I mean,
he played nice.
He played nice. I mean, Brook plays as Brook played. Why didn't they go short? Why? I mean, there is definitely a conversation we had about Harry Brook and the short ball. They didn't do it at Lords, which I thought was surprising for a start. But they bounced him out at Lords as well, and they still didn't go short with him when he first came in.
It was a totally and utterly legitimate tactic because of what had happened before. They weren't holding length. They weren't bowling enough balls in a good area. So sometimes you get criticised as a captain. Going for the short ball, it's too obvious. Why are you doing that? A guy's just come in. You've got to make the first 10 balls. Anyone can nick the first 10 balls. You've got to bowl the ball in the right areas to make the batsman nick those balls. And because West Indies hadn't doing it, if you had said to all of us sat there and go, Harry Brook walks out first ball and you've got short leg, square leg, 3 men out, third man, no slips, you could say it's a justifiable tactic. And it's and sometimes that gets the bowler going. You might go for a lot of runs, but let's be honest, they were going for runs anyway, trying to hold length. So I thought that they missed a trick for West Indies, he only got 30 odd, so it hasn't changed the game. But I thought it was of a message of intent, A, to Harry Brook, and B, to England, like against West Indies. We're coming to actually show some character and make it uncomfortable for you.
Yeah. Do you think he has got a problem with the short ball? I mean, the Australians had a go at it. So Lords was a disappointing way of getting out.
Yeah, I mean, he's a magnificent talent.
Yes.
He's a wonderful player to watch. But I do think that against the better bowling attacks, I think he's going to have to rein himself in just a little bit. I just watched him today. He got 30 odd. He played some love shot, but he was dropped. There was a couple of wild swings in there as well. And I just think these better bowlers, they don't mind players going out playing like that. You just got to have the ability to bat a period of time, and yet they're going to challenge him with the short stuff without any question. India next summer and then Australia just a few months after, with those bigger boundaries in Australia, they'll pepper him. They really will, and then they'll bowl channel into length and try and just get him. Today he played 1 or 2 beautiful shots through the offside, but it is away from his body, and the extra bounce in Australia, you could quite easily see them packing that kind of gully region and saying, okay, we'll bomb you, and then we'll bowl you into around good length outside off stump, and you'll flow your hands and we'll try and catch you in that position. So I'm not saying he's got a glaring weakness, but it's like any young player, and he's come out of the traps and he's averaging 60, he's got 400s already, he's only played 14 games, you kind of go, what a player. But now teams have seen him, and we've seen him, and all the data's there for everyone to see. That'll be the area that teams. He's probably going to be good enough to overcome it. I think he's very talented, and I think he'll have enough to be able to duck and weave and work it out. But that's exactly how they're going to bowl to him.
And you two, very fine batsmen. Is with the notion of a coach working on his ability to play the short ball now, is there a danger that it gets into his head that actually I do have a problem with this and I got out that way there? I mean, do you think that that's a sort of a sensible way to go to try and help him with this, or are you kind of avoiding it because you don't want to drop that in there?
Well, you have to know the guy first. That's the ultimate rule of captain. If I went up to Harry Brook and I know him socially, played against him, and I said, you've got a problem with short ball, you need to do that. That ain't going down well. The people who coach work with him know what works best. For me, it's just clarity for him. He's got to decide almost every time he bats how he's going to play the short ball. Because with a certain situation on this pitch, does he need to duck it on this because it's too quick for me? He actually gets in trouble when the ball's actually outside his eye line and he tries to drag it. He's been caught when the ball's almost fifth stump, when normally most people get in trouble when it's in under the armpit and you cramp for room. He gets in trouble because he sees runs there, and I think he's just got to be clear, right, the ball's out here, what am I going to do with it? And when you're clear in your mind, you can then decide. So whether he's going to say, if it's out on this side, this line, outside he's obviously right-handed, so outside his right eye, I'm leaving it alone. If it's at my head, I'm going to take it on. It's that kind of clarity that you need to have. And once you've got that, then you can work your method. And that's what I think, because he can play the shot.
I think we're going to chat to Ollie Pope in a second. I'm just looking down at the far end there. I think he's got his headphones on. Ollie, it's BBC to Ollie Pope. Can you come in, Ollie?
Come in, I'm here. How are we doing?
Well, okay, well played. You must be very happy.
Yeah, no, really good day. I think, the way we went about it, getting put into bat, getting 416 on the boards, obviously a really strong day, and happy to get the three figures and make it count.
How do you feel walking out at 0 for 1 in the first over?
Yeah, no, I actually felt all right. I think that's just the nature of batting at 3. Sometimes you're going to come in at 200 for 1, and other times you're going to come in at 0 for 1. And unfortunately, Zach missed out today, but no, I felt good. I knew it was a pretty good pitch, and it helps when Ducky at the other end, I think, hit that second over of the day for 19. Suddenly you look up and the scoreboard's moved on quite quickly.
Yeah, I mean, that was just, entertaining from our perspective up here, but you could just feel that any initiative that the West Indies had picked up with that early wicket was just kind of just burst, just taken away. Yeah,
and it makes a big difference. I think coming in 0 for 1 is you always feel a little bit of pressure knowing that you don't want to be 0 for 2. And then after Ducky's over, suddenly you look up, you're 24, and we were on 40 odd before we knew it. So it felt like the ball was back in our core, which was a nice place to be.
Yeah, I imagine you had a call from the maternity unit and just to hurry up and get a move on, but I don't suppose that happened.
No, it didn't happen. No, he's all good, but he was playing like it, but no, he batted beautifully for that 70.
Yeah, 600s for you now, Ollie, and all against different opponents too.
I mean, it's nice to make them count. I think, obviously it's nice to do it against different attacks, and hopefully I can really cash in for the rest of this series and the rest of the summer.
Tell us about the pitch, because subjective here, we can say, look, there was some wayward seam bowling, but occasionally there were some really good balls out there as well. How do you read it?
Yeah, I think exactly that. I think we tried to put them under pressure as an attack. We hit it all around the ground, but at the same time, whenever they were able to sort of stack up a couple of overs in the right area, there was a couple of player misses. Obviously, drop catches made a big difference today, which I'm obviously always grateful for as a batter. But no, I think, look, it's a good pitch. At the same time, there's enough balls in there to hopefully go and take 20 wickets in this game.
Yeah, you did have a couple of let-offs today. What do you feel? Next ball, you just forget it completely, just put it away?
Oh, you're pretty grateful at the start. I think I was just waiting on a little bit of luck there, which came my way. And then you kind of go, you're pretty relieved. You turn around and then you go, right, let's make sure I make the most of this. It's a nice feeling, and it sometimes just gets you back in your box. It's a bit like a player miss sometimes as well when you play a bad shot.
Well played today, Ollie. There's some lovely shots in there as well. 121, well played. We'll talk to you soon.
Cheers, thank you.
There we go. Ollie Pope, very honest, but a bit of luck there.
Yeah, there was a bit of fortune, but he played some beautiful shots.
Yeah.
He's so much of an energiser. I was saying to Tufnell downstairs that he almost bats as if someone's got a little feather and he's tickling him.
Yeah.
He's a bit agitated sometimes. He's always a little bit on rollerblades, and he's always looking to move the scoreboard on. But when he plays, and I think he's quite a difficult batter to bowl to. I think he's quite difficult to keep quiet. He gets balls kind of behind square on the offside. Then he's got shots through extra cover. He's got that flick through mid-wicket. He's got
from off stump. He's got
the pull shot as well. So I think it's quite difficult for a bowling unit to keep him quiet, because he does take risks. We've been kind of looking at English cricket for many, many years, and number threes generally in the history of the game have been a technically correct, leave the ball, see off the kind of shine, get it to the 30th over, and then you start to kind of accelerate in the gears. Well, Ollie goes pretty much from ball one. He goes out there, this is the kind of remit of this team. They go out there trying to put the pressure back on the bowlers, and at times he's going to play one or two shots that you go, ooh, where's that come from? Yeah. And even when he's in, even today when he got to 50, you think, oh, you're in on a good pitch, just go and play. Every now and again you go, ooh, where's that shot come from? But that is the way that he's playing, and he's done well. The move to take him to number 3 has been a good one. His big kind of goal in his Test career is to go and play really well against the high quality teams, India and Australia. I think against sides like the West Indies, Sri Lanka, I have no problem with Ollie Pope. I think he'll just climb into the runs. His real big mental challenge is, can you go and do it against the Indians next summer and Australia in a year and a half's time? That's to take him to that next level, the level where we all start going, whoa, what a world-class performer. He'll only become that once he's done it against the really quality teams.
Fazia, let's have a word from you. A bit of an emotional roller coaster from a West Indian perspective today, I guess. The first over, 0-for-1, put into bat, and this is an opportunity. How do you look at it at the end of the day?
I think frustrating is how I term it, because again the opportunities missed. I mean, Ollie, as you said, was honest enough to point that out. You don't miss opportunities like that in Test match cricket. Yes, they came at them swiftly and so on, but this is the highest level of the game. The stumping chance missed, even a catch missed towards the end of the day. It was generally untidy, and I think what we're seeing is a team that appears to be low on confidence.
Yes.
Not just because of what happened in the first Test match, but again because they haven't played a lot of cricket together as a team. They're still feeling their way about on this English tour already. They're on day 1 of a second Test match of 3. So it's a difficult challenge for them, and some of the weaknesses are being shown up, and primarily the inability to concentrate for long periods, because this is what Test match cricket is all about. You can bowl the Jaffa today, but if you can't produce it consistently, you're not going to have the success, especially against an England team that is looking to score at every opportunity.
Yeah. Let's get some reaction from the West Indian dressing room, shall we? Henry Moran, as he's speaking to the spinner Kevin Sinclair.
Oh, Kevin, what's your assessment at the end of what's been quite a long day?
I think we did brilliant. Having said that, we put down a few, Pope, put him down a few times, he come and get 100. So I think that hurt us a bit. But yet still, I think we did fairly well to bowl them out once again. Too much runs in the end, but I would say it was a good day for all of us as a team.
So you do think it's a few too many runs, more than it should have been, perhaps?
Yeah, definitely, because I think we put down some difficult ones that hurt us. But like I said, I think we come back and did fairly well. I come and get 2 Hutch, come and get some wicket as well, and put us right back in the game. We get the crucial wicket of the captain, Ben Stokes. So yeah, I think we did fairly well today, man.
Brilliant start, and then things seem to go crazy out there.
Yeah, definitely. There's something that we talk about in the dressing room in terms of the boundary balls. I think we was guilty of that today. Too many boundary balls. But like I said yesterday, we pull it back and we bring ourselves back right in the game as a team.
Now, talk me through this celebration. It's not something that I think fans here at Trent Bridge have ever seen in a Test match.
Well, if I had played the first game at Lords, they would have got it if I got my wicket. But it's from an area basically where I'm from. I used to practice in the backland, somersaulting. So whenever I get a wicket, I just look to do that as a representative of my area and where I'm from in Barbies, New Amsterdam.
Can't imagine Curtly Ambrose doing that.
Nah. Yeah, I couldn't imagine that.
What about the batting then tomorrow? It has to be better than what we saw at Lords. So what's been the message around the camp?
Look, I'm not going to criticize, but I think we as a group and as a young team, on any given day we could, show the world what we're capable of. We have 100% support from the management staff. I think on a given day, once we, get those partnership, and not get wicket in clusters, I think that hampers us in the first test. So once we do the basics for long, I think we're gonna, put up a good show. Just finally, what's this surface playing like, do you think? It's a pretty good surface for batting and bowling. Once you get the ball in the right areas, I think you're going to get results. And batter, look the way at Pope played. He scored off of balls that was in his zone, so to speak. So I think once you wait a little bit, be patient, I think, a lot of runs out there for you as a batter. Lovely. Well played today. Thank you.
Does sound a character, doesn't he?
Oh, he's a great guy.
He's gone from having had a brilliant day there to being, perhaps there were too many boundary balls and dropped too many catches. But are you worried about the prospect of the batting tomorrow, Fazia?
worried very much so because again, because what we saw of the pitch, it's not as if it's a complete road.
No.
If you bowl properly and you bowl consistently against players who probably aren't really attuned either mentally or maybe even technically to batting for long periods, staying off a tough spell, it could be very challenging. But again, they'll back themselves. You've got to back yourself. You've got to believe that you could upset the odds and maybe go against the grain. But the challenge is you've got 400 runs on the board already, and that is already a mountain to climb, and therefore it's going to be very, very tough for the West Indies in that morning session, and really will test their mettle because Craig Brathwaite has been struggling for runs. He's been the anchor for quite some time. He's barely gotten a run over the last year and a bit, and if he falls early, there isn't a lot of experience in the middle order. It might be spectacular, it might be flashy, it might be entertaining, but whether it will be consistent enough to frustrate England on day 2, that's going to be the challenge.
Yeah. What do you think, Michael, tomorrow?
Oh, I think they'll bat a bit better than we saw at Lords, but I just think England will have too much, as Faz said, just enough there. And if England catch well, I would think England will be batting again tomorrow at some stage.
Okay, there you go. Good luck tonight with the question of sport.
Thank you very much. Well, I've got the
Your teammates as
well, I've
well.
got the caps in, haven't I? A little tough now.
Well, you should win with toughness, surely.
Yeah, well, you'd hope so.
Yeah. Anyway, good luck with that.